Well, this has been a really fun process so far. This is the last video in the first section, and my goal in this first section was to get you to the starting line where you're ready to start prospecting business owners to sell them software solutions. I think you're just about there, but there's one thing left that you need to do, and that is you need to identify as an expert. Identify as an expert. Now, let me explain this one to you. This is a tough one because this is all mental. There are some things I can tell you, some habits to put in place, but this is really a mental shift on your part. I want to tell you a story about something that I watched in a YouTube video recently that really impacted me and my thought process. There was a guy I was watching, and he's a fitness expert, and so it's somebody that I watch to get workout routines and things like that. And he was talking about how he had an injury in his arm. I believe he had tore his bicep or something along these lines. And, it was a long recovery process. It was like, 6 months of rehabilitation and all of that. And, his livelihood is basically lifting weights and showing people how to do that. And so obviously that was a really big deal to him. And when he went back to working out, he was obviously very cautious, and for good reason. But he said, at some point, he made the statement, he said, at some point, you have to change your thought process to identify as someone who is strong and who is able to lift a lot of weight if you want to get it back. And I thought, that's so good, because what happens is it's so easy for our identity to be tied up in something that actually messes up our ability to move forward. Many of you are watching this video, you've gone through all the steps, and in your mind, you say, I'm a credit card processing salesperson, I'm a payments professional, and I'm trying to sell software. If that is your mindset, let me save you some time and some wasted time. You're going to fail. You're going to fail, okay? You've got to switch your mindset and your identity. You are now an expert at whatever it is. So I want you to say it to yourself. Pause the video right now. Look at the type of business you're going after, the challenge you're going to solve, the software you're going to use. And I want you to make a statement to yourself, something like, my name is James Shepard. I am an expert at selling pet shops on point of sale systems that help them improve their inventory management. Okay? Say that to yourself 5 or 10 times. Pause the video. I'm serious now. I know, I'm not a sappy person, but I'm telling you, this isn't just positive thinking. This is you understanding your identity shift. Okay? Pause the video and do that right now. Okay, once you've done that, did that feel right to you? Did that ring true? Or did you say, well, that was just something stupid that I just said because of this video? That's really not who I am. Okay, why not? Write down on a piece of paper. You've got to get this down and say, what are my beliefs that are holding me back? Why don't I believe that I'm an expert at this? Okay? Now, what you're probably going to identify through that process is that you're not an expert, okay? And so you actually aren't an expert. You haven't yet put in the work to be an expert. So guess what? The last task or challenge that I'm going to give to you before I recommend you get out in the field and start selling your software solution, become an expert. So start by identifying as an expert, and that's who you are, that's who you're becoming. Then put the work in. How do you do this, okay? You need to subscribe to industry publications. Reach out to some of these industry publications and say, hey, look, I'm just getting into selling hair salons, and I see this is the magazine that hair salon owners read. Is there any way I could buy 12, your last 12 magazines from you and get the last 12, okay? Go online. Is there a blogger? There's usually a blogger or some social media person, YouTuber, whatever it might be, that is, has programs for the business owners. Now be careful, I'm not talking about direct to the consumer. We're not looking for somebody who's telling consumers how to do their hair. We're looking for someone who's telling hair salon owners how to grow their business. We're looking for someone that's telling, attorneys how to grow their practice. So industry publications and online blogs, YouTube, all of these different things. Find some resources. Take the next week. It's not going to take you that long. You'd be surprised. Take the next week to read the industry publications. If there's a book about it, read the book. If there's an audio program, if there's YouTube videos, whatever there is, just research. Now you say, James, what am I researching? Am I researching this specific challenge? No. You're going much broader than that. You're zooming out a lot further than that. You're going to become an expert on that business type. Just look at the overall challenges that they're facing in general. Okay, how did COVID impact them? How have their biggest competitors impacted them? Look at the vendors that are, advertising in there. What's their pitch? That's a big one for me. Whenever I'm selling to a new vertical, I like to look at the other people selling to that vertical, other software companies, other vendors, and I look at their ads. What are the pain points that they are targeting? I'll get ideas from that as well. Okay, but now you're becoming an expert, and so you're really taking that time, an hour or two a day, to just read industry publications, read blog posts, watch YouTube videos, and you're really gaining a good and a deep understanding of this particular vertical. Now, at this point, if you're just watching the videos in sequence, you haven't done the tasks, you're probably thinking, James, this is, all the stuff you've said is going to take me 2 or 3 weeks to get this all done. Yes, that's exactly right. To get you from where you are now to the starting line where you're ready to prospect is going to take you probably just under 30 days to get you to that point. This is not a, get rich quick plan. This is not a sell a bunch of people quick plan. This is you learning an entirely new industry, an entirely new software solution, and then we haven't even gotten to the point yet of actually getting out and doing the work and the sales process, which is going to take you probably another week to really nail this down. And that's what we're going to start talking about in the next section. So again, at this point, I really want to challenge you. Have you done all the steps? If you haven't, go back through and complete all the steps up to this point so you're prepared and ready to get out in the field and start selling software to small and medium businesses.